Welcome to Learning Unit number 5. Learning Unit number 5 is actually our last full learning unit, and it's entitled AI in Teaching and Learning. We do have a final course reflection that will follow in the final 4 days of our course, but we'll go into that a little later. Let's focus on Learning Unit number 5. So we're talking about how AI is really reshaping higher ed by creating new possibilities, but it also is bringing up some issues, especially as far as policies and the use of AI by students, whether or not that's impacting on their critical thinking. Lots of things are coming into play. So let's look at this a little bit further. But the big part of this learning unit is that you're going to have an experiential activity, and I hope you find it extremely beneficial. I thought it was a fun activity, but a little bit more intense than most experiential activities. So I'm going to go over that in addition. So anyways, AI in teaching and learning. So for this learning unit, that was the description. We have objectives. I'll let you read through those. And then we have different learning activities and assessments. So again, that's information that you have access to. You are watching this video. And the first new content that we have is schools are using AI and virtual reality to train, especially in nursing students. But it's now going into physical therapy. I mean, many of the health sciences are utilizing sports medicine, etc., are using AI and virtual reality. I know our police academy at Mercyhurst started using VR. It had to be about 6 or 7 years ago. It's been a while now. So this is a nice PBS NewsHour video, a fairly recent one, and it's 7 minutes in duration, and I think you're going to find that helpful. And then we just have 2 articles, AI in Higher Ed, which is a survey, a summary of recent surveys of AI use in higher ed, both among students and faculty. So I'm not going to read through all of this, but it's quite interesting. And they note that 86% of students use AI for their university studies. And I'm pulling some of this information from another study, and it also depends on what academic discipline that they're in. One of the studies that I didn't include here demonstrated that health sciences are kind of in the middle of AI use. Humanities, so, are the highest AI use for students, and the lowest use of students is arts and music and mathematics. So it depends on what academic discipline, but most studies are showing between 86 and 90% of students. And that's more than the US and Canada. We're looking at oftentimes 15 plus other countries. So this one is looking at 15 countries. So we have, what are they using it for, and what type of AI tool? So they talk about ChatGPT, Grammarly, and then Microsoft Copilot. But I thought this section was one that I would ask you to look over. Why are students using AI in their university studies, mostly undergrad studies? And then how are faculty using AI? So this is also, we now know that AI is already a part of how students learn and how educators work. But often students are using these tools as our educators without training, without clear policies, without being informed about the use of AI. So that's why it's really essential for educators as well as leaders to be knowledgeable about AI. So I'll let you read through that article. And then the final one does speak specifically to nursing, but I thought it was a nicely written and very short 2-pager article about AI in nursing education. So whether you're in nursing or not, I think you will learn from this article as well. So that's it as far as the new content. So you can see you can probably finish this information in about an hour. And then we have an experiential discussion. So you can see this is a folder compared to an article or a link. The links look like that. Article, this is a folder. So all the information you need to complete this learning unit's experiential discussion board post and reply is found within here. So when you click on experiential, here are the instructions. I'm going to go through the documents just to make sure you understand where you're heading with this. So these are the full instructions. This is everything that you're really going to need. So what is the purpose of this experiential discussion? Well, you're reviewing a peer's presentation. So our OL students or any of the students taking a 3-credit, this course is 3 credit, have been working on an ethical presentation on AI use. So you're going to be reviewing one student. I'm going to assign who does what, but you're going to review one of the video presentations. And you're going to use AI as your thought partner as you're reviewing this. So this is helping educators, this is helping all to critically evaluate another's work while using generative AI as a thought partner to really enhance, refine, and reflect on your professional judgment. But note, your professional judgment and your ideas come first. So you're watching an assigned peer's ScreenPal presentation. You're completing a rubric on your own after watching it or as you're watching it, using your own professional judgment. This is the initial evaluation. It's serving, let me make this a little bigger, It's serving as your draft copy. So I will show you where that rubric is, and you can download that. So this should be completed before you consult AI. So this is you. You're not going to submit this draft. But after completing it, use an AI tool. I know you've experienced ChatGPT, there's Claude, Gemini, whichever tool you're most comfortable with to review your written feedback. Use this prompt or adapt it as you see needed. And here is the prompt. You're going to ask ChatGPT to review your and rewrite your feedback. So it is professional, respectful, balanced, and growth-oriented while preserving your original meeting. So you can read through this prompt. This is the prompt that I'm asking you to use, but if you feel that you need to adapt it, to change it, feel free. And then you're going to review what AI recommends, the suggestions it made. And then you're going to decide whether you're going to accept all, you're going to modify, you're going to reprompt AI and keep discussing this, or reject. Your final feedback should reflect your own professional judgment and your own professional voice. We're using this as a tool, right? So for your post, you're going to submit your completed peer review and feedback rubric after you've used AI as your thought partner. And then you're going to include the AI prompt you use. You could just say, I've used the same prompt as given, or how you adapted it. And your final feedback should reflect, again, your own professional judgment. You can either copy and paste the feedback, or you can attach it as a document. And then, so remember, our posts are due Friday, so that's why I ask you to start with this, the experiential. It's due on Friday. And then for your reply, so that's all you're doing. You're completing it, you're going through AI, and you're posting it, right? You don't have to add any other information right now. But for your reply, as you reply to another's post, describe how AI influenced your evaluation. Here are some ways that you can think about it. Did it influence your thinking? Did it reinforce your evaluation? Did it challenge it? Did AI identify strengths and weaknesses you hadn't considered? And which AI suggestions did you accept or reject, and why? So reminder, AI can be a great tool to support your critical thinking, not to replace it. And that's what we need to help students understand, especially in undergrad. You remain responsible for your final evaluation, the feedback you provide, and the judgments you make. So that's the whole instructions. Here's the grading rubric. So when you're here, you can open it. You can actually click on that and download it and save it to your computer so you can use that. But the feedback and grading rubric isn't rocket science. It is, you're watching that one peer presentation, and here's the criteria. Here's the points that they already know they're being graded on. And this is the criteria they had to include in the presentation, and you're going to give what you thought they earned as far as points. But here's the main part. What are the strengths and the weaknesses for each criteria? So they have to introduce and give a significance of their ethical issue, background in AI terminology related to the issue, review and synthesis of the evidence. They've been looking at sources of information, ethical analysis. Did they use principles, ethical principles such as beneficence or ethical frameworks, and professional considerations? Then it goes on. What was the evidence? Was there evidence-informed recommendations for responsible and ethical AI use? What were the conclusions and takeaways? And they should have one slide that shows references. So it was a 100-point assignment that they've been working on in the first 3 weeks. They submitted it in week 4. So how do I know which presentation I should review? Here you go. Here's the lists. Bonnie, you're going to review Lauren's, etc., etc. Everybody's name should be found down here. The video presentations, however, aren't due until Sunday, August 2nd. I usually open up the course on a Sunday morning. But they're not due until evening time. So you may not see your colleague's presentation until Monday a.m. If your colleague is delayed submitting their presentation, I'm going to update the section on Monday. So maybe Bonnie, if Lauren is a little bit delayed, I might ask you to be viewing Bryson's video. I will change this Monday morning if any of the students are delayed in being able to post their work. That would limit what we get, what presentations we see, but life is like that, right? So, and when you click on the student presentation links, when I receive them, you will see a ScreenPal link right here that you can open. And this is your experiential discussion, which we've already read in the instructions. Include the prompt, everything that we read already, but I put it in your experiential discussion view. And then finally, the content discussion. And I say that finally because, yes, we had 3 articles, but throughout this learning unit, and especially with the experiential learning activity, you expanded your AI literacy and strengthened your AI discernment. What's AI discernment? It's the ability to thoughtfully evaluate AI's capabilities, AI's limitations, determine when and how AI can support your work, and responsibly integrate AI while preserving human expertise, professional judgment, and ethical practice. So, this is the question. Please share how the learning activities helped you to strengthen your AI discernment. Remember, the content discussion is due Sunday and no reply is required. So that's why I put this as last. So maybe you're going to talk about a little bit about maybe that video you watched in new content. Maybe you're going to really focus on the articles, or maybe you're going to integrate all of what you have learned. I know it's been a lengthy video, and please note there will be a short video for your final course reflection that should be opening up in mid-week. Have a good week, and I hope I was able to explain everything well for you.